So upon return to Turncliffe, we don't need to be in combat gear anymore. We can just go casual for the rest of the way. Alright, Gaius. Severa is taking care of Ali, but it may be some time until her nerves have settled. If the vision you witnessed is indeed true, Alphonse and Rex locked her away for her own safety. When she is ready, I would know more of what her brother hopes to achieve and why he must resort to such desperate measures. Ali's condition has improved somewhat, but she remains in a state of shock. We must give her more time to recover. There was one other thing that I thought you should know. When we checked her for injuries, we saw that her back is covered in welts and bruises. Ouch. Who did this to her? Don't know. It seems she was subjected to beatings on a regular basis. Judging by the varied stages of bruising, I dare say this was the work of Argalian masters. Yeah, anyone that's not a guardian gets what's coming to them. You speak as though you've seen this before. Seen? I have lived through it myself. Have you now? I was born in Wurlet, 23 summers past. Although she looks a lot older than 23 to be quite honest. My mother was a local woman, but my father was a pure-blooded Gallian and a member of the occupying forces. Though I knew very little about him, his rank afforded me imperial citizenship. His acknowledgement of our familial ties was the extent of the responsibility he took for bringing me into this world. Still, it is more than can be said for most of his ilk. Which probably does not include those people who were standing alongside her doing the Guardian salute. My mother and I were shunned by the people of Wurlet, who treated us as badly as the Guardians did, if not worse. Well, she was probably raped or something to give birth to you. I thought that if I were to become an Imperial soldier, my position might somehow deter those who would cast scorn on my mother, if only out of fear, and so I joined the army. Much like Fordola. The acceptance I earned was but temporary, however, and my superiors were quick to blame any perceived shortcomings on my savage lineage. Rather than waste my time on official court-martials, they administered their own form of corporal punishment. I was eventually assigned to the 12th Legion and fought under Xenos, Galvis, and Alamigo. In the chaos that followed our defeat, I seized the opportunity to flee to Wurlet. While I was never much of a home, it was all I had, but nothing could prepare me for what awaited. My mother had been for many years suffered from poor health and relied on medicine to keep her alive. In my absence, the Guardians had denied her treatment, claiming that it would be wasted on savages. By the time I could return to her side, there was naught I could do. Yeah, too little, too late. There was nothing left for me in Wurlet. I would be punished for desertion if the Imperials discovered the reason for my return, and I was never accepted by my so-called countrymen to begin with. Yeah, the ultimate bastard, unfortunately. I ran as far as my legs could carry me. It was then that I met Gaius. So that is the truth of it. Other than a few scant details, I knew naught of your past. It sickens me to think that I once fought under the same banner as such vile creatures. I had always believed it to be the duty of the strong to lead the weak, yet there are those who became drunk on power afforded by their station, and preyed on the ones they should protect. Like a canker, this corruption has spread to every part of the Empire. Even those of Gallian blood, such as myself, are subjected to their cruelty. They hold particular contempt for the Aurora, an easy target for abuse being so few in number. Perhaps like me, Ali thought she would be spared such treatment once she joined the army. Alas. And Gaius has nothing to say. I only hope that with time Ali can put the past behind her and make a new life for herself. But for now, all we can do is wait for her delirium to subside. It is Vaudelin's turn to keep watch. Let us ask him if there's been any change. And so away we go. Let's follow them to Vaudelin. I suppose you're here to ask about Ali. Is she well enough to speak with us? As her condition has improved somewhat, I would say so, provided you do not cause her any undue distress. Wait here. And so, sometime later... Hi there, Allie. Is it hard to look into our eyes? Allie, I am sorry. What happened to Rex? It was my fault. Melisandre and Recon too. They died because of me and my foolish ambitions.
Father, no!
This cannot go on. Please, Allie, you must tell me all you know. But can you?
Of course.
First, I need to know what became of you and your siblings after we parted.
So much has happened. It seems like a lifetime ago. After your disappearance, we were all assigned to the newly reformed 7th Legion.
Yeah, all standing front and center.
At first, each legatus was quickly replaced by the next until eventually, a man named Valens van Varro was given command. He was sent from the capital, but before that, he was a specialist in experimental magitech weaponry. We later discovered that he was ordered by Emperor Varus to complete a project involving anti-primal war machina, the weapons, but after the Emperor's death, he was free to employ whatever methods he saw fit, and his greed for power only grew. Some even say he is planning to use the power of the weapons to lay claim to the throne. But I think there's another reason for his obsession with the weapon project. Not that he'd ever tell anyone, but he's always muttering to himself, and I've been able to put the pieces together. He's jealous of you, Father.
Jealous? In what way? Valens von Varro. I must admit it was only recently that I first heard that name.
Valens used his knowledge of magitech to devise various military strategies. He was given a position in the army and quickly rose through the ranks. That was until one man stood in his way. You, Father. He was one of the candidates to lead the new 14th Legion, but that role fell to you. After that, he was assigned to serve under a far more gifted engineer, Nero, who was in charge of restoring the ultimate weapon.
Yeah, I hate to break this to you, Allie, but Nero's not as impressive as you say he is. But of course, given your circumstances, you wouldn't know that.
Valens has resented you ever since, going so far as to oppose the ideals you upheld. Where you treated those who served the Empire based on merit rather than on their race or origin, Valens is adamant that pure-blooded Gallians are superior to all others.
Does this sound like anything we've been hearing over the course of the past year? Yeah, hey 2020. I have a quote here from a video game character from Japan that you might want to take a look at.
It never ceases to amaze me how far some will go in the name of revenge. All that hatred festering away, nothing good could ever come of it.
You don't have anything to add, Valdelan? So the marks on your body are his handiwork? You have to come out and say it.
Yes. To Valens and his men we are no more than fodder for his experiments, playthings on which they can vent their frustrations. Every day is filled with nothing but pain.
If I had remained in Garlemald, you would have never been forced to endure this abuse.
It's not your fault, Father. We could have fled from Valens if we wanted to. After all, we're expendable and easily replaced. The truth is, that's exactly why we couldn't run. In saving ourselves, we would be condemning others. But if we were to stay to see the weapon project to its completion, we would gain power to defeat Valens, and then the Empire itself, freeing the world from its tyranny.
That's a pretty weird way of going about it, though.
That way we might start afresh and find a place we can call home. And not just for us, but for anyone who wishes to live in peace.
You would give your lives for a future you may not live to see.
We took courage from your teachings, Father. The strong must lead the weak, and we would gain that strength by whatever means necessary. We will fight for the sake of those who cannot. But we knew that you never consent to our participation in the Weapon War project, which is why we couldn't turn to you for help. As the pilots were the only ones who were able to stop Valens, we know just how powerful the weapons are. He would use them to bring the world to its knees. And his masterpiece is the worst of them all.
Yeah, there is more to come.
If only I could get my hands on it, then I could save Alphonse and all of Wurlitz.
Yeah, she's thinking to herself on this one.
Father, I know you and Alphonse stand on opposite sides of this conflict, but there must be some way you can help him. He may have called you our enemy before, but he never meant it. He still loves you, Father. You are everything he aspires to be.
I've failed him. Failed you all. But I refuse to abandon him to his fate. I will free him from Valens if it is the last thing I do.
Thank you. He needs you now more than ever.
Listen, Ali. I once sought the strength to rebuild the world as I saw fit. But the ultimate weapon was born not to create, but to destroy. Alphonse must not follow in my footsteps. I know all too well where they lead. I will do all I can to help your brother. Pray tell me where he is.
He's...
You gotta come out with it, Ali.
I'm sorry. I don't know where he could be.
In that case, I shall have the Alliance dispatch scouts. Wherever he is, we will find him. As for you, Ali, you must stay here and rest.
Wait, you're the one who fought Rex, Recon, and Melisandre, aren't you?
Guilty as charged. Yeah, sorry to have done this to your family.
We're the ones who threatened your homeland. You only did what you had to do. I have no right to ask this of you, but... lend my father your strength. Save Alphonse.
We'll do what we can, from one aura to another.
I know now why they call you hero. Alphonse, I'll do what I must to free you, even if it means going against Father's wishes. But I have a good feeling about his new friend.
Severa, see that she has everything she needs. And away she goes back inside. All allies must be informed of these troubling events. May I ask you to relay this news to the troops in Giribania? Of course. And away we go. Your loving father act may fool the others, guys, but not me. For every life you've saved, you've ended 1,000 more. Or is this your idea of redemption? Yeah, Valdelan has shown nothing but mistrust ever since they crossed paths. Call it what you will. For all my transgressions, I believe I still have a part to play. Was I wrong to spare you that day, or will you honour your word? It seems the time has come for the Black Wolf to show his true colours. And so after completing the quest, it's time for us to go back over to Porta Praetoria and arrive on scene to speak to the Resistance officer. We recently received word of your victory over the Emerald Weapon. I expect it was another defiant display on your part. Not that any of us were there to see it. For that reason, we'd be grateful if you could give us a blow-by-blow account if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, I'll go into detail about it. Good grief! It sounds like you had an awful lot to contend with. Rather you than... I shall add this to our ever-growing stack of reports, should anyone wish to review this information ahead of the next sortie. Now, if I may say so, it looks like your ordeals have taken their toll. We'll let you know if anything requires your attention, but until then, be sure to get some rest. And so with that, we'll take our 1,655 gil for defeating the ultimate weapon. Or rather, the emerald weapon, rather. Yeah, we already beat the ultimate weapon years ago. Edie did, at least. But we're not quite done yet. Meanwhile, at the 7th Legion's Correction Chamber, which is to say, a prison. Yeah, we have a guard writing reports in front of a cell. And someone is within said cell. 3 weapons. 3 pitiful displays of ineptitude. Yes. Remember Valens from back when we vanquished the Sapphire weapon? Ah! Yeah. That'll be screaming in pain from Alphonse. To make matters worse, one of my prime candidates, your precious sister no less, has escaped! Yeah, and they torture Alphonse by having little kids branding his backside with hot iron. And who should she go to crawling to but that swine, Gaius? Everything I've done for her, and this is how she repays me. As her older brother, it's your responsibility to instill some discipline in her, and you failed miserably. Yeah, he has a whole bunch of kids, including this little Aura boy, branding him with hot iron. Well, don't just stand there, boy. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this to another Aura. Oh, of course. It's your first time, isn't it? Come along, there's no need to be shy. Yeah, in fact, to try and warm up to him, and not in that way. Yeah, let's have a look at our new adversary. Yeah, and Alphonse is like, ugh. Yeah, and he's not happy. For obvious reasons. Yeah, this little boy is so scared. You see, something wicked has taken hold of this young man, and it's our job to cleanse his troubled spirits. It may look painful, but it's the only way, I assure you. He'll be ever so grateful, and you want him to get better, don't you? There's a good boy. Now, let's try again, shall we? Burn out the bad! Burn out the bad! Burn out the bad! Burn out the bad! And he's looking at them like, yeah, you have to all join in too, or else. Burn out the bad! Burn out the bad! Burn out the bad! Burn out the bad! Out the bad! Burn out the bad! Burn out the bad! Yeah, over and over again until this little boy just does it. Yeah, suffice to say, that is painful, and the warden definitely heard that. But he just continues writing a report like it's no big deal. And Vanessa is like, yeah, we're so happy now. Well done. You've all made Father proud. Very proud indeed. Yeah, a brand new child soldier for you. Yeah, I made you happy. All's for you. I thought you were cut above the rest of the savages, but it appears I was mistaken. And since you allowed that wretched sister of yours to escape, it falls to you to act as her replacement. I choose you as the next pilot, and your mission is simple. Kill Gaius Van Belsar, whatever it takes. And if you so much as entertain the idea of betraying me again, I'll exterminate every last one of your kind. Like the vermin they are! Yeah, with the crazy, deranged face that only Asahi could give us. Having said that, we'll be forcibly initiating Oversoul using Xenos' combat data. So whatever schemes you may be hatching will never come to pass. All you need to do is sit back and let the synthetic Orsight system do the work, with you as its conduits. You should thank me for allowing you to become part of my masterpiece. Your worthless existence will finally have some semblance of meaning. Yeah, inevitably Alphonse blacks out. Yeah, let me take my child soldiers on a little field trip. Lord Valens, preparations for the Oversoul trial are complete. We await your orders. Yeah, look at the little Aura boy has been given the task of carrying Valens' helmet. Splendid. There's never a dull moment around here. Now then, boys. Who'd like to see something special? Come along, everyone. Father has secrets to share with you. Yeah, with that smug look on his face. Yeah, I'm taking you all on a field trip. And as for the warden, yeah, he'll go ahead and have a look at Alphonse, who is out like a light, although simultaneously writhing in pain from so much branding. At least he was able to turn around. Yeah, you might have to rely on the cold stones of the floor to soothe your back. This is my chance, and it's all thanks to the sacrifices made by my dear siblings. Finally, the weapon will be mine to command. Once it has reached perfection, I will be unstoppable. First Valens, then the Empire itself will fall, and we will be free at last. Father, keep Ali safe. Yeah, see the images of his former siblings. Melisandre Recon Rex, I'll see this to the end, I promise. Until then, watch over me. But yeah, you could see the images of his 3 lost siblings in his eye. But yeah, about that field trip. Yeah, it doesn't just end with Alphonse giving his last words. Yeah, we're gonna be threatening more people too. A mother and child, no less. So, is it ready or not? The trial sequence has been primed, sir. Then get on with it! Get on with it!
Initiating synthetic ore sight system. Loading diamond weapon simulation.
Yeah, and here's the unfortunate victim.
What's going on?
You're helping us with a little research is all, whatever your name is. The time has come for you to contribute to the glory of Garlemald.
This isn't what we agreed. You said that if I took part in the experiment, you'd let my family go.
Which would of course be those two. But of course, you have Xenos' data loaded, yes? Activate Oversoul and be quick about it.
Understood, Lord Valens. Gaia's combat sample data ready. Initiating organic core overwrite.
Yeah, meaning that the gross things that have happened to people like Melisandre is now going to happen to this guy too. And these guys all get to bear witness to it.
Ah!
Yeah, imagine all the pain he's going through.
My mind is... No! If this is what it takes to protect you both, I love you! I'm so sorry!
Yeah, because now his body is gonna go and completely transform very painfully. Yeah, you two don't want to see what's in there. Where is my prey? Yeah, so he's basically Xenos now.
Organic core override complete. Xenos Hiagawa's data loaded.
Yeah, let's look at our tablet. The subject is instinctively bound to seek out prey right from the outset. Regardless of combat prowess it may boast, I need an obedient servant, not a ravenous beast. Enough, shut it down!
Deactivating synthetic ore sight system.
Yeah, you've suffered enough, dude. Where did all this water come from? And also, yeah, look at that grotesque thing. This is what he got turned into. How revolting! And what a mess it makes of the cockpit! Adjust the settings and prepare for another run. Fortunately, we have the next test subject ready and waiting. No apologies.
But sir, you agreed to release his family in exchange for his cooperation.
Do villains ever keep their word? The answer is no. Yeah, I am laughing in your face. My, I never knew you had such a wonderful sense of humor. The great Valens van Varro bargaining with savages? Ha! More fool him for trusting me in the first place. And she's like, oh boy. Yeah, guess who his next test subject is going to be? Yeah, doesn't take a math genius to figure that out, or a rocket scientist. So of course the War Machina Fanatic will now give you the opportunity to go take on the extreme version of the upper weapon. But, as you may have noticed, the Resistance Officer has another quest for us. So let's go ahead and take this bonus quest entitled In Memory. The Resistance troops wish to help their newfound allies in Turncliffe. Oh, Shinji, I was hoping I might have a word with you. Ever since Turncliffe was liberated, we've been sending troops to aid in getting the town back on its feet, helping the residents, that sort of thing. We all Amigans know how hard life can be for a society struggling to stand on its own years after Imperial rule. A lot of what most would take for granted has been rebuilt from the ground up. While we are able to assist when it comes to providing basic resources and keeping the place safe, there are countless other problems that need attending to. If you can spare the time, we could use your help. I can do just that. Bless you, Shinji. You really are a saint. I'm sure the people of Turncliffe will benefit from having someone like you around. Once you're ready, have a word with your usual escort. I wish you all the best. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds when 5.5 comes around. Alright, escort, take me back over to Turncliffe. Nope, definitely not. Alright, so upon returning to Turncliffe, we are going to find a particular person. We want to speak with this despondent civilian over here. Yeah, and coincidentally, it's an Aura.
You're the one who piloted that war machina and defeated the sapphire weapon, aren't you?
And the ruby and the emerald.
I thought so. I've heard much about you, but I doubt you know who I am. My name is Alvalina, and I grew up here. I stayed throughout the occupation and was put to work as a Magitech engineer. Thanks to you and yours, we are now rid of the Imperials, though I fear many of us will struggle to put the past behind us. For 10 long years we suffered at their hands. A whole generation of young people were forced into the army and sent off to die in some distant land. I suppose I could be considered one of the lucky few. My work kept me here away from the battlefield, and I hope that my contributions might help the others live long enough to make their way home. In the end, most of them never returned. Though my efforts were in vain, I can at least honor their memory. I want to leave something behind for their sake, to prove that they haven't been forgotten, a monument bearing their names. To ensure that not a single person is omitted, I need to see the official list of conscripts. If one still exists, it will be inside the Imperial facility beneath the town, but with the resistance troops and Ironworks engineers closing the place off, I can't get near it. Perhaps you might have a word with them for me? I'll leave as soon as I find the list.
Alright, come along.
Thank you, I'll follow your lead.
And so we'll go ahead and reunite with her over at the main gate. Something I can help you with. Yeah, actually, can you help out my friend here? Can you help out a fellow Aura? Oh, I see. It's a bit unusual for one of the locals to show an interest in the Imperial's leavings, but it seems she has her reasons. Since we're still carrying out our investigations, we've closed the place off so anyone can prevent anyone interfering. Considering it's you who's asking, though, I can hardly say no. Still, I better go with her in case the others kick up a fuss.
You're very kind.
Yeah, can you let us in to help this young lady get some vital information? And so, later that night... Welcome back. Did you get what you required?
I'm sorry for any trouble I've caused. You have my thanks.
Think nothing of it. I was glad to help.
As I suspected, the Imperials kept detailed records of local conscripts. One name in particular stood out to me. My friend Melisandria. I had no idea she'd been assigned to the 7th Legion of all places.
Oh, she wasn't the only one. Yeah, how did you know her?
It all began while we were serving together in the 14th Legion. We had much in common, both being drafted from the same occupied territory, and we soon became firm friends. Then one day, she was sent to fight in Eorzea while I remained here. The day before she left, she came to say goodbye, together with her foster siblings from the orphanage.
Yeah, look at them all.
The youngest one, Recon, was particularly upset about not being allowed to speak with their adoptive father, Gaius van Belsar, before they departed. It was actually another of his orphans, Livia Sas Junius, who forbid them from seeing him. I can't say for certain, but it seemed that Livia had a strong attachment to Gaius and wouldn't let anyone else near him.
Yeah, not only does that name look familiar, but look at the word that comes before it. Orphan. Which means that, contrary to popular belief, for the better part of 7 years, everyone who went through Castor Meridianum thought that Gaius was Livia's lover. But it turns out that she didn't love him, she was just one of his orphans. And she just ended up passing through the ranks quickly and continued to admire him in a father-like capacity, not as a romantic capacity. So yeah, for those of you who have been thinking for 7 long years that Gaius and Livia were lovers, this statement from Avelina says otherwise.
As far as I could tell, he tried his best to keep Livia at arm's length whenever possible, but her devotion to her an obsession, and she became extremely jealous at the slightest sign of affection between him and his other wards. Others, however, treated them far more kindly. In fact, a Praefectus Castrotum of the 14th Legion came specifically to meet them. While I was surprised that a Rogadin had risen to such a rank, I was even taken more aback by the unguarded manner in which he spoke with his subordinates. I hoped that with people like him serving on the Eorzean front, they would be in safe hands.
And that, of course, would be Raitaten, who we fought at Cape Westwind. And so, yeah, you basically are getting the origins of Livia and Raitaten courtesy of Avelina here in Worlet, of all places, in 2020.
Then the time came for Melisandre to leave. We shared a few final words and then she was gone. It would be the last I ever saw of her. After that, I was assigned to the Tribunus Laticlavus of the 14th, Nero Tolskeva, and I worked on restoring the ultimate weapon. I was even at the Praetorium on the day it was destroyed, but I escaped aboard an Imperial ship moments before it came crashing down. I eventually made my way back to Worlet, only to be drafted into the 7th Legion to continue working on the weapon project. Even now it makes me sick to my stomach to think I'd helped bring those abominations into the world. Using a living pilot to feed the weapon's core was part of the design from the very beginning. Of course, they never dreamed of subjecting a true-born Garlean to such barbaric treatments, not when the 7th Legion has a ready supply of provincial conscripts ripe for the taking. The pilots were referred only to by their code names, and we engineers were not made privy to their true identities. Even with this list of conscripts, I still don't know who was sacrificed in the name of the weapon project.
Or your skills and knowledge can be finally put to good use, or let's put an end to the weapon project together, but yeah, we can finally put those skills to good use.
But what can I do? For years, all I've known is how to build tools of destruction. The 7th Legion is far from finished. They're biding their time, waiting until the right moment to unleash the final weapon. And when they do, it will bring naught but death and woe to all who stand in their way. Even after everything they've taken from us, they still want more. If it weren't for the Empire, Melisandre would still be here. She was the kindest person I ever met, but to the Empire she was just another pawn in their games. I will never forget her. There is a way I can make a difference, I know there is. But first I need to speak with members of the Ironworks. I have a feeling that Warmark and you used to be the Sapphire weapon will be called into action again. Until then, there's still time to make improvements and I intend to help. I'll still be going ahead with the plan to build a monument, but stopping the Empire must come first. I hope Melisandre and the others can wait a little longer.
We know you'll do wonders with that.
Before I go, allow me to express my gratitude. I don't know what I have done if it weren't for you. Until we meet again.
It was nice to meet you there, Miss Avelina. Yeah, I need to get more info from inside. And with that, we will return to Porta Pretoria. We're back. In time to meet Yellow Pikachu, of all things. Which is irony of ironies. So how was your time in Turncliffe? Well, this is what happened. I see. Fate has dealt her a cruel hand, but she now has a chance to make a fresh start. The same could be said of the whole of Turncliffe. It seems the liberation of that one small town will become a pivotal moment in Worlet's history. Perhaps it won't be too long before the rest of the region is free from the Empire. Naturally, we'd be honored to fight alongside the people of Wurlet. We won't rest until the Imperials are sent fleeing with their tails between their legs. Until that day arrives, we'll carry on doing our bit to support you and the others in ending the weapon project. Or be sure to pass on any pertinent information. In the meantime, take care. And with that, we'll take 855 gil to complete this bonus quest.